Hey, hey, it's Dr. J, and guess what? It's Tuesday, and every Tuesday we find a superstar, someone that's actually doing the do in the sales and professional communication industries. And we've got a very special treat for you today. Now, I've got a very close friend of mine, known him for many, many years, and he is a legend in sales. And I met his partner a little while ago. And lo and behold, she's an absolute gun at sales. Now, I'm going to introduce you to Karyn O'Day. And she works with Ray White Real Estate and has been in real estate for 13 years. Now, I've got a rap sheet here. So I'm going to tell you some of the stuff that she's done. Now, she's been in sales and real estate for 13 years, but really sales all her life. Now, here are some of the really fantastic and quite astounding numbers. Over the last 3 years, she's been an elite, and that is the top of the tree. That's in the top 2% of the industry, not just of the company, in sales in real estate. That is a feat that not many people will ever achieve. Here's some other things she's done. She's got her own personal branding. It's called Deals in Heels, and you'll see why in a moment. And she's actually has broken the record and had in her demographic, which is in Vasti Lakes and also Robina on the Gold Coast in beautiful Queensland, she's broken records of having the highest prices ever. Now that's again, she's selling the real estate to people that want to buy it. So it's a good decision. Now, here's some other things. Most of the time, people take anywhere between 2-3 months to sell their place. With Karyn, it's anywhere no longer than 12 days. Just recently, in the last 6 months, or the last a few months, people have been trying to sell their house for 6 months. Now, guess what? Karyn got hold of it and sold it for $100,000 more they were asking, plus it was only done in 5 days. So she got a 98% success rate in closing, to making sure that they're selling her product, which is real estate. So I asked her to come on and share some of the golden nuggets. So a big, big welcome to Karyn O'Day. So thanks so much for joining me.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. A little blushing, but thank you.
Look, it's a fantastic rap sheet, and I knew I wouldn't be able to get it from yourself because you're so humble about what you do. So I asked Scotty to send it across to me. So I cheated a little bit.
Good, now, good.
I want to go through and share some of your success strategies and some of the things of your journey in sales, because there's so many people out there in our Sales Authority Club and our Sales Success Club and our clients and people in general that are wanting to become professional salespeople, but they struggle. And then there's people like yourself that have done it for years. And I always say this, there's nothing substitutes for learning but experience. And I love to get hold of people that are doing the do and find out a little bit about their journey. So tell us a little bit about your journey of just a brief introduction on Karyn O'Day Proprietor Limited, Deals in Heels.
Deals in Heels. Look, for me, it's just about helping people. It's that simple. So, of course, you've got to be knowledgeable. You need to know what to do and what not to do. I'm very process driven. Just for me to do more than anyone else will. Anyone else has the energy to do it, but obviously to back it up with results. So just helping people is my first point, and then I'll be paid second. So it really is that simple.
So going in with it's a nice adage because it's become click form now, but people go into sales and closing, but we try to take the ethos away about saying, let's do the close, but let's take away the sale and let's go from selling to helping. So that's number one. Number two,
very much.
One thing I love what you said is you have a process. You got to trust the process, and then the outcome takes place. So many people just drive to make the sale. So let's talk a little bit about that, because sales professionals, they get a square, but they'll chip it away and they'll break away the process. Now, how did you get into this thing called selling? Now, because people don't go to school and say, I want to be a salesperson, but Scotty was one of those people. Well, how did you get into sales?
Look, excuse me. How did I get into sales? Well, I got into a people business first, and then really I was selling to people, whether it was something they needed, something that would improve, and it just went from there. But I bought a property a long time ago, and it's one of the biggest transactions that we do in life. And the agent, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't excited. He wasn't it just didn't take me down a path that should have been the most exciting purchase of my life. And it was a little disappointing, you know, and I just thought, how hard is it just to have a little bit more energy? Like, I didn't need anything. I didn't need gifts. I didn't need just a little bit more energy, a little bit more positive, just a little bit more. And I thought, goodness me, something so simple, all the basics we could call it, wasn't even there.
Some people have that as an innate quality, Karyn, because I love your drive. You said it a number of times, doing a little bit more, going the extra mile and so forth. So you had that experience, and then what happened?
So someone did tap me on the shoulder and said, you should look at real estate. I didn't think, I had never thought of it, but I do have that interest in real estate as well. So I thought, I'll give it a go. I'll be honest with you, it was easy. It was easy from day one. Look, let me say, there's a roller coaster that goes with real estate. So it's not, you know, all fun, and you ride the emotion with your clients. But if you do more, if your process is to help them and do more again, the sale will come. You know, improve your skills. There's so many things, but the basics are really just be polite, have good energy, teach yourself. If you don't know, be honest and tell them that, and just keep moving down a path that has to give you a result. It just has to.
So I love that word energy. It's people feel energy, don't they? And if you're positive, and if you connect with the human being and forget about the sale and say, I'm here to help you.
Absolutely.
They'll actually say, gee whiz, I'm glad I had a coffee with you. Can you help me more? And then
absolutely. But you know, firstly, it's for me. I want to have a really good day. I want to feel good. Even with people that maybe their circumstances are not good, I don't go in skipping in and happy. But if you can have empathy with that energy and then look after their needs, the result comes that has to give them some kind of happiness. You know, even under not so happy circumstances, people come to me for a result, you know. So yes, the price is normally the winning result for everyone, but sometimes it's a circumstance that just the door needs to be closed. So, you know, looking after people with the right energy at the right time, but being the positive one, whether it might not be, you know, may not be laughing and skipping around, but, you know, holding their hand and taking them down to get that result that they're wanting. So, you know.
So what I'm hearing here is there's a combination here between soft skills and hard skills. Now, having this amount of success, now 98% strike rate,
yes,
and making sure that we sell properties would sometimes take months, as you would know, you've been doing it longer than most,
yes,
between 6 to 12 days. What's your secret weapon? Now, there must be something, and sometimes people that are that good just don't know what it is, but there's usually one or two little things that make a big difference in your success. What would yours be?
So I've labelled it a full customer care program. So there is a lot of things to do. So the basics they're never not done. Basics are always there. So my secret weapon is do more than anyone else can do, work longer than anyone else will. But the secret weapon is not just so for instance, with a property, my job is to create a competition and a bit of urgency without being a pushy agent. So how do I do that?
Say that again, because the guys write this stuff down. Karyn's going to tell you some stuff. It's going to flow like treacle. So I'm going to get you to get your trusty pen out and get you to write it down. So I'm just going to recap a little bit here because this is gold. You're going to have a full customer care program. You've got a program in place. You've got to do more. You've got to work hard. But what's that secret weapon? So let them have it again.
So, you know, my job is to create a competition, a little bit of urgency, but not be a pushy agent.
There you go.
It's that. I work for my property owners, my sellers, but I work with my buyers. So a lot of clients will say to me, but you work for the seller. Yes, I work for the seller, but when they've employed me and we've signed the agreement, that's when they've decided I'm going to look after them. Then it's my turn to turn and work with the buyer. So yes, my seller is always there and important, but they've agreed with what I would like to do in the process. So then it's my turn to work with the buyer. Now, Steve, I'm a real estate agent, so I'm already on the back foot with most. Most people think she's going to do the pitch on me. She's going to try and make me do something I don't want to do. That's the last thing I want to do. But I also want to give them confidence why they've turned up to the property is a good choice, because first inspection is online now. It has changed. People don't just wander through properties anymore because they can. Everything's online, on their phone, on their laptop. So when they've come to the property, they've already made that decision that there's something of interest. So I'm excited for them. They've made a decision first.
So I love that you're going through your process, because you've said it a couple of times and you haven't wavered. And it's making sure that you have combined a process with also a feeling. So you're not coming across as a pushy salesperson. You're there to help the person. Now, when it comes down to this being a professional communicator, now people call salespeople everything under the sun, nice things and bad things. What do you like most about being a professional communicator and getting out there and doing what you do every single day?
Well, what do I love about it? Getting a result for a client every single day is different. Every single property is different. Every single circumstance, person's different, buyer and seller. So that's really cool, because most people go to their job and do the same thing, in and out every day. So my process is the same, but everyone is different. So every circumstance is different. Every result's different. Every conversation is different. However, the message is the same.
Yeah, so you have a process, and then actually is dovetailed into that person's life. So every day is different, because every communication has a little twist and turn. So I like that. It's different every day. It's results orientated, and you follow your process and hone it accordingly. Yeah, beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just, like when I said the first inspection is online, well, I don't just sit and wait for people to come off the internet. So before a property goes on the market, we start marketing then. So we don't wait for it to be introduced to the market on the websites and then that's it. We start, timing is important. So we start a week before, we do what we call 80 connects a day. So we have to physically speak to 80 people a day to tell them something exciting.
So hang on. So you personally speak to 80 people a day?
I do, but so does my team.
Wow.
So we all have different people to speak to. So I might be speaking to every buyer is a VIP buyer, but the buyers that have put their hand up and they want to buy something off us. So I also speak to my sellers. I also speak to my pipeline. So they're people that are considering coming on the market. And then obviously investors. Investors are always looking. So that's probably who I like to speak to. But then I've got a team around me that will speak to others. So that might be the broader range of buyers. How did you go on the weekend? Did you find something that you liked? Are you still looking? Has your circumstances changed, or has your requirements changed? Then we can also speak to a database. Now, my database is very healthy. So if I meet someone on the weekend at an open home or an inspection, and I'll ask them, would they like me to stay in touch with other properties that come on the market? If they say no, they're not in my database. Nothing worse than getting an email from a real estate agent when they've said, don't contact me. But the people that are in my database are happy to talk to us when we ring or email.
Love it. That's again a big rock. You're doing the work. You said you do more and you work longer because you enjoy doing it because it's fun, but you're doing the activities. Now, a lot of people in sales, and guys, listen to this because this is important. Sales professionals that get frustrated and maybe don't have a great month. Usually you have to look at your activities. Now your skill set might need to be brushed up on, but listen to what Karyn said. She does 80 contacts a day. Mm-hmm. So that means that she's speaking to people. She's front of mind. So that's doing the work. Now this segues beautifully into my next question. I'd love to know what your biggest win in sales to date was and which one you're most proud of.
My biggest win, to be really honest with you, they're all wins. I don't want to sound like a typical real estate agent and giving you the pitch. They're all wins. And I really mean that because everyone needs a result. So that's a win to me. You know, it's a win for a buyer when they've found the home that they want to be in. It's a win for a seller if we get a sensational price, and we do get sensational prices based on the process. And there's a whole nother session on that, I can be honest to say. But the biggest win is getting the results for both seller and the buyer. My biggest win personally is when their time is to sell again, they come back and get me.
Well, that was one of the things on your little rap sheet that got sent. People come back to you 4 and 5 times, and one thing here was that one family came back to you. I think with right throughout the family, there was 12 sales within that family. So they certainly come back, and you do have 17 suburbs because you do travel all around the place to make sure that you regularly.
Well, if I sell someone's home here in Robina and they move over to another suburb, you know, the biggest compliment they give me is when they're ready to sell is they come back and say, can you come and help? Absolutely. The property that I sold on the weekend that went on the market on Monday, it's the 16th property for that family. And that's a huge compliment. Like, I've sold grandmas, aunties, nieces. So that's a compliment. The 17 suburbs, you know, should I know all the values in each area? Absolutely. So is that part of my job to find out very quickly if I don't dominate that area? Absolutely. But the process is still the same. So the result will come.
Well, you're walking the talk, Karyn, because you're doing more. You're actually finding out, but people come back. And that's a testimony to someone that really cared. You had a great result, but also you had a connection. So you're proud of every single one of them. That's terrific.
I am. No, I am because they got what they asked me to do.
So whether it's a big one or a small one, it doesn't matter, as long as they got the outcome. Outstanding.
Yes. May I just say?
Yeah, go.
So last year I listed 74 properties and I sold 70. 4 of them was still a win that didn't sell because I provided enough information for them to make a decision, and that was they chose not to sell to the market. So that is still a win because we gave them enough information to help them make that decision.
Sales is nothing but having a conversation to help somebody make a good decision, whether it's to buy or not. So that's a nice ethos that you've got there. Now, you've said the word process a few times, and it's music to my ears, but how important do you feel it is to have continual learning and continue upping the game and sharpening the axe, like the training? Like, we do a lot of training all around the world, and now we have our online program on the Sales Authority Club. So we're in that world, but you're out there doing it and getting significant results. How important is training and learning processes and upgrading skills for yourself?
People are crazy if they don't improve their skills. And whether it's just different words, whether it's different languages, the message is still the same, but it's so easy to learn now. We can do it on our phones. We can do podcasts. We can go all around the world as well as in-house. You know, so someone said to me a very long time ago that professional soccer players, you know, they know how to kick a ball, they know how to run, they know how to do their thing, but they still go to training twice a week before game day, every week, year after year after year after year. So how can we go, we learnt that 13 years ago, I don't need any more? It's just madness. You know, I actually have some, but it's madness because, like, even having conversations with people, we learn things, do we not? Whether it's we bring it into our personal world, whether we don't, or whether you hear a parent say something to a child that you go, I might try that on my own children. So just be open, like be really open, but have a mindset that you want to learn more. So every conversation is something new. You might get something out of it, you might not, or know how you don't want to be.
Yeah, look, it's like do this and don't do that. And that's one of my last questions, do's and don'ts. So we'll have a bit of fun with that before we wrap it up. Now, you understand the differentiation of hard skills, which are processes, and soft skills. The way you've been talking today, you combine them very, very well. But we all know that when we have to learn the process first, which is the hard skills. So I'd love to ask superstars and achievers, what's one of the hard skills that work best for you? What could you tell some of the listeners out there, a hard skill, a process that you find that works really well?
Well, hard skills is putting a process in place that you will do what you say you will do, but also be able to have the hard conversations. So I say to a lot of my clients, my job is to keep us in the fact lane, not the emotional lane, because it's very easy to get in the emotional lane. And most of us are when it's coming to buying or selling. But I have to stick to the facts, and the facts are how many inspections, what the price feedback was, but be able to deliver it in a way that the message is heard without offending. And let me say, some people will get offended. The first thing they want to do is tell us why everyone is wrong, because the price should be a little different. But be able to have those hard conversations the right way.
Having those conversations, that's we bring it right back down to the process. Do you have a like 1 or 2 questions that you would ask somebody? That would be a process that you would ask them before you tell them to, let's say, pre-frame the outcome. So what sort of question could you ask somebody? That's a hard skill that has worked well for you.
Well, with a buyer, how long, a little soft, how long you've been looking? Have you found anything that you love? Is there anything at the top of your list? What's that telling me? What kind of buyer they are? Have they just started last weekend, or have they missed out on property? So they go in different categories. Let me close on those buyers. Is this something you can see your family living in? Is it a great investment? So on and so forth. If I ask all the sales questions and the property is just not for them, that's fine. I need to know whether I'm keeping them on my list or taking them off the list for this property. So Steve, is there a price that you would consider this home? Yes or no? If it's a no, okay. Is there something you don't like? Because there's a few reasons there. It might be something I can fix for them, might be something I can negotiate for them, or get quotes for them.
Okay, so the first question is this a price? Is there a price that you'd like to give this home, or is there a price that you'd like to give it? And they'd say no. Well, they'll say we're off. Or is there something that you don't like? In other words, you're finding the objection and see if you can fix it. Yeah.
Correct. It's exactly right. So, and 9 times out of 10, you can fix it, or it's not really the price. It's just not a home for them. So that's fine. But then what I will ask is, let's say absolutely no, nothing I say or can do for them, they don't want the home, that's fine. What do you think the home's worth based on other properties that you've seen?
Oh, that's gold. Say that again, just one more time. So I'm sure people get their pens out right now.
Is there a price is there a price or is there a value that you see this home is based on other properties that you've seen to date? Nice. They will have an opinion. Now, what I say to my sellers is they're not all standing out front comparing notes before they give me that price feedback. So I want my owners to know from the first inspection to the last inspection, or from the first inspection to the first contract, what the market thinks their home is worth. Because then it helps them, giving them enough information is going to help them make a decision when either the right contract comes along or the right offer. All offers are good offers, because some people will start here and finish here, and some people will start here and finish here. So it's my job to figure out whether they're going to buy or not.
I think there's some beautiful words you use there. What do you think it's worth, or what the market says it's worth? I think that the worth component is quite interesting, because it's worth what people will pay, but it's the market does govern what people have an opinion on, but it might have something or an aspect that's just absolutely unique that they couldn't get somewhere else. So it might be worth more to the other person.
That's right.
And then I love the other one. Every offer's a good offer. Now, if it's a yucky offer, at least it's a starting point that you can then build upon. So I think what everyone should be taking away is getting the opinion of the person that's making the decision on the worth, and also try to get a what's next. We call it a what's next. It's an offer which allows you then to build value or whatever it may be. That's terrific. Oh.
And with that though as well, like let me say there's cheeky buyers out there, which they're allowed to be, because again, they will finish somewhere, and it might not be where we want them to finish, but they will finish somewhere. So let me say, also having the confidence to a buyer to say, with respect, Steve, that offer, I'm happy to deliver it. However, I've done my own homework and delivered. My owners have done their own homework and delivered. Your offer's way off. So is there something that I've missed? So give that buyer the power, because maybe there is something that I've missed. Normally not, but let's just say I have. Is there something that I've missed that I can support your offer to deliver it to my owner. Otherwise, they might just put the walls up and say, we're not talking, we're not negotiating.
Okay, that's so authentic. So at the end of the day, you say, hey, look, it's an offer. Everyone's done their research. It's way off the mark. What are we got to do? So in other words, you're not keeping the person, oh, well, I'll just give them an offer, and you just know in the back of your head, you're being incredibly authentic and telling them the truth. And I think this is one of your secret weapons we were talking about before.
Absolutely. Honesty is the best policy, but with both ways as well. So being able to say to a buyer, look, I'm here to help you, but you help me help you. With respect, if they're way off in price, happy to deliver it, but just help me out, because I'm happy to help you, but you've got to help me first, because I don't know where you're getting that figure. And is it based on budget or is it based on value? Because if it's based on budget, it's a different conversation than if it's based on value.
It's a conversation. What I'm hearing here, Karyn, is you having a great conversation, saying, look, I'm going to help you, but you got to help me. And you're just being completely authentic. But it's part of your processes that you've actually have learnt, and it's becoming something that becomes natural for you. So
very much so, very much so. And the other part of that is as well, I would never tell someone no to an offer. Like have the conversation, have the confidence to say, but never say no, because I don't also know what my seller's circumstances. Like I always say to a property owner, don't tell me your bottom dollar. I don't need to know it, because I don't. I will give them feedback in price or offers, and that will help them decide whether they're saying yes to someone or not. So I don't need to know their bottom dollar. There's no point, because the market is the one that's going to buy it.
Let's say we match and mirror their body language, or we borrow their words. If they've used a word 4 times, you borrow a word and just use it fleetingly.
Without a doubt. So if I have a big blokey bloke, I don't turn into a bloke, but if I have a big blokey bloke, I might roughen up a little bit. I don't change as a person. No. But just to make their communication with me more comfortable. If it's an older lady, I don't change, but it's a different conversation. So you absolutely borrow their words, without a doubt.
So with all that in mind, what's one of your biggest lessons that you've learned in real estate and in sales in general?
What's one of the biggest lessons? I'm an honest person anyway, but we are labelled as not so honest as real estate agents. So what's the biggest lesson? To be honest, but to give them reasons to know that I am. So give more.
Proof, yeah. Well, you could say, I'm honest. They'll say, well, why are you telling me that? Is that because you're dishonest? But they give them proof that you're
give more. Yeah, so give more. So, with sellers, give them more information. So inform, not influence. Just inform, not influence. So with buyers, if they need more evidence to help them support their confidence in their offer, let alone their offer. So if I can give them more recent sales, give them more data, again, that goes back to their style and what will make it work for them. And same.
You just used, Karyn, you used the word evidence. Now, in the sales cycle in general, and it's been around a long time, but more so in this day and age, proof. We call it proofing.
Yes.
It's having proof, evidence of what you're saying is true. That
without a doubt
creates trust.
Correct. And that's what they want.
A great price. This is great. And you say, well, where's the evidence? Because it's just noise. You're saying here, have evidence and prove. That's a big deal.
And so just to give you an example, so 3 properties went under contract on the weekend. They all had multiple offers, all of them. And one person in particular didn't believe there was multiple offers. So unfortunately, someone's obviously told them something that wasn't true in the past, because it was obvious he was just not listening. So instead of showing the prices, I have everyone that puts an offer in, I ask them to put it either in on a contract or an expression of interest. There's a couple of reasons why I do that. But on this occasion, I showed him the signatures, dates, and the address. So I didn't show him the prices, but I showed him all the papers. In the moment, though, I didn't have to run away and give me an hour to do what I needed. In the moment, I said, look, I'm going to put my hand over one part because it's a privacy. let me show you. He just shifted so quickly. He just shifted so quickly, and he gave me an offer, and so on and so forth. But give the evidence in the now. So don't run away and try and pull it all together. Be proactive in your results right there and then.
Sounds to me that you were prepared. So if someone asks us, well, hang on a tick, give me the proof, and you go, you've got it at your fingertips.
Absolutely.
And that shows you are a professional and you're on top of your game. That's absolutely fantastic. Terrific. So we're going to wrap up now. You always like to finish off. What would be some advice that you would say a budding new salesperson, or let's say a seasoned veteran that's gone through a little bit of a lull? From Karyn O'Day, what would be some of their advice of what they could do to really rev up October and for the rest of the year? What would be a little bit of a golden nugget for them?
Talk to more people. People are opportunities. So just talk to more people. That will give you a result sooner than later. You know, a lull is you haven't had enough people to speak with to give you enough opportunities. So that would be my first thing. Stick to a process. Process is always going to give you a result. A process to me is talk to more people, put a process around a property that's coming onto the market or one that has sold. Don't waver from that because there's opportunities around that. Do more than anyone else. Do more than anyone else, because even when you're tired, just sit on the phone. So I say you make your money before 9 a.m. and after 5 p.m. Because you do, because most people will turn up at 9 a.m. and leave at 5. If you do 1 hour either side, that is more than anyone else. If you do half an hour either side, that's more than anyone else. So just talk to more people. It keeps your energy up. you can't get slack if you're talking to people more than you're not.
So the advice would be see more people. And we have a little saying as well, see more people, make more sales. So it's just absolute gold. Have a process, keeping it tight, and
Without a doubt. Do more.
Not do less, do more.
Yeah. It's easy when you're not feeling great to kick back because you just don't feel any energy. It's really, and I get that. Like, let me say, it's showtime when you walk into someone's house and, you know, you might not be feeling great, but you can turn it around very quickly and make yourself feel better. You know, you just can. So that's why I'm saying just keep going and keep talking and keep the process moving. You have no choice but to feel better. And then the results will come, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Well, look, Karyn, people could hear more golden nuggets from people like you. I believe it's really important to hang around with successful people that have a process, that do more and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to throw this out to the people listening. Find people in your world that talk like Karyn. Speak like Karyn, because it's you're the multiple of the 5 to 10 people that you get influenced by most. So
without a doubt, yeah. Run away from negative people as well. You probably heard that. I know you would have heard that before, but it is so true. If someone's having a bad day, smile and nod, see if you can help. If you can't, go.
Well, look, Karyn, thank you so much for joining us today. I know how busy you are. You're doing your
Thank you.
calls and all the other bits and pieces. My goodness. Wonderful insights on sales, but processes and things that people could do to become incredibly successful. So thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. And thank you for having me. Feel free to reach out. If anyone ever wants to reach out, I'm always happy to have another chat with someone else.
Great. So I'll just, is it okay to give your email address so they maybe reach out and ask you a few questions? Is that okay?
Sure. Of course. Of course. If they own a property, it'll even be better.
Of course. All right.
Thank you, Steve.
My pleasure. Look, how good was that, guys? Heard an expert, an achiever, sharing some of the things that she does on a day-to-day basis. I think you heard it loud and clear. Do a bit more, get a process, keep training, and making sure that you're there to help people. Go from that selling mentality to a helping mentality. And the big one here, see more people. I'd love to know what you're going to do with all of the stuff that Karyn said. So write some things down in comments. Reach out to Karyn. I'll put her email in there so you can maybe have a chin wag. And remember, she does speak to a lot of people. So if you have your questions ready, and maybe if you're up in the Gold Coast, you might have a cup of tea or something. All right, gang, thanks for joining me today. I'm Dr. J, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.